It'll have a devastating effect on the poorest people in these communities. As you said, a lot of the houses are built on hills, on exposed places. You need a considerable amount of heating. So what's going to happen? Poorest people are going to be faced with two options. Either to actually put on the heat and accept the cost which goes with it, or cut back on the heat and accept the health problems which goes with that. We've also got to remember, not only have we got some of the worst levels of deprivation in the country, we've also got some of the worst health problems. And the street which you referred to is certainly not the worst in the United Kingdom, but it does show that even in an area of high deprivation, there's pockets of extreme deprivation.
Okay, Clou, thank you very much indeed. Back to the studio.
Thank you very much indeed, Martin. Deprivation, lack of education, health problems. Joining me now in studio is the leader of Wandsworth Council, Edward Lister, and he wants to introduce a scheme which could disadvantage single mothers in the London area. And Sue Slipman is Director of the National Council for One-Parent Families. Now, Mr. Lister, why particularly target single mothers? Is this on purely economic grounds, or is it a moral issue with you as well?
No, it's a number of issues. I mean, firstly, we've got 6,500 people on the council's housing waiting list. Many of those have been waiting at home with their parents for housing for many, many years. We have others who are living in accommodation which is far from satisfactory. They are constantly being pushed further and further to the back of the queue, while we have more and more people coming forward, particularly very young teenage mothers who recently had children, who immediately are moving to the top of the queue, pushing them back. Now, we recognise that they have very real problems, but we're saying, firstly, that it would be better if they could stay with their parents for 2 or 3 years before coming through, and we can actually have a planned way of dealing with the problem. And secondly, we'd like the government to change the legislation so we no longer have to provide permanent housing accommodation from the
I hear your argument, but by enforcing the economic issues, as a direct result, are you not stigmatising single parents?
It's not a matter of stigmatising. We have 6,500 people, many of them who are themselves have got very real problems, and they are being pushed further and further back. We have a responsibility to everybody, not just to a very small minority.
Now, Sue Slipman, single mothers offer the biggest demand for housing in Mr. Lister's region, more or less. But that doesn't necessarily mean, does it, that they are the most deserving? We've just listened to the arguments for other people who deserve housing.
Well, the facts are that about 3/4 of young mothers do stay at home with their parents. It's about a quarter who present for housing. And they present as homeless, and they have exactly the same level of priority.
Are we talking about under 21 or under 15 or under...
It is about, in fact, 50% of those who are housed under homelessness legislation are lone parents of all ages, and the vast majority of those are people who are divorced and separated. It's a small minority.
He's saying not in his area, it's not.
Well, it may be that they put something very peculiar in the water in Wandsworth, but elsewhere in the country that's the pattern. And what we do know is that they're not getting top-level accommodation. They're already in temporary accommodation and bed and breakfast accommodation for several years before they get housed in, and what they do get is sinker states in the worst possible areas. Now, we all know there's a problem with supply of housing. It is a limited resource. There ought to be more social housing. But to choose on the basis of moral judgment, which is what I believe Wandsworth is doing, is to victimise not just the mother, but ultimately the child. And it seems to me when I'm very happy to work with anyone to prevent teenage pregnancies and to try and tackle the problems. But once you have got a child, what we've got to try and do for that child is ensure that the parent is an adequate parent, grown up and able to deal with and look after the child. And it seems to me that Wandsworth is going to be infantilising those parents and therefore harming the child.
Okay, Sue Slipman, Edward Lister, thank you both very much indeed. We are running a poll this morning. We want to know what you think. Have we got the numbers there just to remind people of the question? Do you think that single parents under the age of 21 should be forced to stay at home? We'll give you the number later on in the programme.
It's 21 minutes past 7. You're watching GMTV. Music now. Remember the Detroit Spinners? Back in the 70s they had a hit with Rubber Band Man. Well, Kate Bush must have it in her collection. Her new single's called Rubber Band Girl. Here's Kate now. If you want to know your stars for today, just take a look at the bottom of the screen.
The Rubber Band Girl, a bit of music to start your day. Going to take a break there. After that, a desperate search for a Scotsman who's mysteriously vanished after a fortnight's holiday in Turkey. Maybe you can help.
Did you know you can save up to £200 on holidays at Lampoli?
Get away!
Light Up Lullaby Puppy is the perfect companion for your baby at bedtime. He has a rattle, a mirror, a squeaker button, and projects pictures onto the ceiling. But best of all, he plays 3 soothing lullabies which gently...
Light Up Lullaby Puppy from Matchbox.
Hi, good morning. After GMTV, it's supermarket sweep, followed by the time and place. On This Morning, he may be grey, but the experts reckon that John Major is a red-hot lover. It's his thin upper lip, apparently. Today, face facts and what they say about you. Harry Seacombe's here, and after their wedding in Broadmoor, Mrs. Kate Crane on Marriage to Ron. See you with Judy later.
Hello, welcome back. Now, as you may have seen in the news this morning, relatives of missing Scotsman Roy Dingley are appealing for help in their desperate search for him. It's nearly a month since Roy failed to make his return flight from a fortnight's break in Turkey. His family says hope is fading with every passing week unless you, the public, can help. Well, Roy's ex-wife, Helena McGuinness, joins us now from Glasgow. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thanks very much indeed for coming in. Now, Roy went off on holiday. And you expected him back. It was just a 2-week holiday, and you and all his friends expected him back after 2 weeks. What happened then? What do you think has happened to him?
I have no idea what happened. Initially we hoped that he might be ill, and we might be able to find him somewhere ill, or he may be in a police station, or he may even have been kidnapped. But as time has gone on, none of these have proved to be true. So now we're very worried.
I'm sure you are. He's not an innocent abroad. I mean, he's been... You know, he's a sort of seasoned traveller, if you like. He's been abroad before. He's actually been there before. Is there any evidence that he actually did manage to get into Turkey, that he spent some time there? Do we know what happened once he got into the country?
We have evidence for the fact that he checked his passport in and was recorded as arriving in Turkey. We then have a passenger on the plane who saw him at the luggage carousel. Beyond that, we have no evidence.
There's not been any problems in his life, perhaps in his private life or his work, that would perhaps just make him think, I'm just going to disappear?
No, he's just had a promotion at work. In fact, the week before he went out, he was looking at buying a new car, a new company car. His life is going very well at the moment. He's got lots of good friends. He's very happy in his job.
Sure, and although that you're divorced, it was very amicable, wasn't it? And you still know one another, and you're still friendly. What did he say before he went away? What kind of things did he say to his relatives that would make them think, well, there was no way he was never going to come back? Was there anything else that he said to them?
Just the normal things like, I'll send a postcard, see you soon, that sort of thing. We had no reason to believe that he was going away for any length of time. He went to Chesme last year in Turkey, so it was almost the same thing again, except that this time he tried to go to Istanbul, or he was intending to go to Istanbul. So as far as we were concerned, it was just the same as he did last year.
And Helena, any sightings of him so far?
None confirmed.
None confirmed so far. You must be incredibly worried. It's a desperate situation. Helena, thanks very much indeed for coming in. And if you think that you may have some information that could help in the search for Roy Dingley, then do contact Giffnock Police in Glasgow. That's 041 638 1113. That's Giffnock Police Glasgow, 041 638 1113. If you have any information whatsoever you think might help.
He'll certainly put a family's mind at ease. 28 minutes past 7. Good morning to you. This is GMTV. Don't know what it's like wherever you're waking up this morning, but there was a spit of rain around in London this morning, Sally.
There certainly was. Pretty horrible this morning waking up down here, and looks like it's going to be like that for the rest of the day. In fact, over most of the country, nobody's going to be able to escape the rain, I'm afraid. Let's take a look at the weather anyway and see what's happening at the moment.
GMTV's weather with Direct Line Insurance.
Hi there, very good Tuesday morning to you. Well, I'm afraid the story is a rather sad and soggy one at the moment, as we can see from the satellite picture behind me. There's a huge wave of cloud right across the British Isles. Look at that, quite dramatic, isn't it? And it's moving very slowly eastwards with clearer skies following in behind it, but plenty of showers there waiting to move into western parts of Wales and Ireland as it moves through. So it's a dull, damp start to the day across eastern and southeastern parts with some rain around too. Elsewhere, though, it's a bright start to the morning and a fair amount of sunshine around, in fact, for many parts of England and southeastern Scotland, as you can see. Quite a mixed picture there. But showers are moving in pretty smartly into Wales and the southwest, as well as into western parts of Scotland and Ireland. But by this afternoon, that showery weather looks like becoming pretty widespread, and the showers are likely to be quite heavy at times, especially across western Wales and the north and west of Scotland, with hail and thunder likely up there, so you have been warned. Temperatures today not too bad at all, up to a fairly respectable 68 degrees, which is slightly above average, and as you'd expect from all that weather, quite a big day on the old brolly front. Most parts are likely to get some rain today, with the drier spots down in the east and the southeast. After that early morning rain clears, only 60% there. And a look at the summary then. Rain clearing to the east with better weather following on behind, but showers moving into the west later on. That's it from me. I'll see you in half an hour. The rain.
Thanks very much indeed. Right, coming up, we've got the cartoon and Mr. Motivator, of course. Right now, those 7:30 time for news headlines.
Good morning. Nissan is to cut production at its showpiece factory in Sunderland, believed to be Europe's most efficient car plant. It's growing evidence of how a slump in car sales on the continent is affecting British factories. But the Japanese car maker has dismissed speculation of layoffs and redundancies, as Barbara Long reports.
Nissan brought thousands of jobs to the hard-pressed northeast when it opened its Sunderland car plant in the mid-80s. It's currently turning out more than 1,000 cars every 24 hours, supplying 33 countries. But now the company has been forced to admit that's too many for a European market savaged by recession. Nissan have kept their market share, but overall car sales in Europe are down by almost 18%. And not even the once invincible Japanese car makers can escape the consequences of that. This morning, Nissan's 4,600-strong Tyneside workforce will be told production will have to be cut back. Nissan say there'll be no layoffs and there'll be no redundancies, but they'll say no more than that until they've spoken to their staff. Short-time working is a likely option for at least some of the workforce. Barbara Long, GMTV News.
Teenager Nicola Lumsden is critically ill in hospital after she was hit in the head by a bullet meant for somebody else. The shooting happened outside the Redskins pub in Tyne and Wear. Detectives are questioning 2 men about the incident. In America, a 3-year-old boy is at the centre of a custody battle between his natural mother and a homosexual couple who want to adopt him. Megan Lucas gave her son up for adoption at birth, but wants him back now that she's remarried. 500,000 women take no contraceptive precautions against unplanned pregnancies. A survey by a drugs company out today says 90,000 teenagers are among those taking no form of precaution. Brooke, the Pregnancy Advisory Service, has urged compulsory sex education in the schools. And finally, beer drinkers in Bedfordshire have set up their own bar on the village green after a brewery closed their local pub and put it up for sale. They're fighting plans to turn the pub into a house, saying that they'll buy the watering hole and run it themselves. It's 28 minutes to 8. Time to get the weather, travel and news in your part of the country.
Hello, I'm Paul Green. This is London Today. Police have declared that 2 of the recent violent racial disturbances in the East End were officially riots. The 2 riots took place 10 days ago after teenager Quadas Ali was set on by white youths. On the 10th of September, 26 police officers were hurt in violence outside the Royal London Hospital. The second riot came the next night when racists rampaged along Brick Lane.
5 London councils go to the High Court today for the latest stage of their fight against night flights at Heathrow and Gatwick. They claim Department of Transport rules limiting flights don't go far enough to cut down the engine noise. Now for all the latest travel news, time to go to Fiona Farrell at Scotland Yard.
Good morning. I've just had word of an accident on the M25 clockwise at junction 27. That's the M11 turn-off. There is a 3-mile tailback which is increasing, so definitely steer clear of that one. Also on the M1 at junction 40, Newport Pagnell, there's a new contraflow there. That's causing delays in both directions. Looking at the monitors, Hammersmith flyover, that's busy but all moving. The traffic lights are out on the A4 Talgarth Road at the junction of Glidden Road. And looking to the city, Ludgate Circus, that's not looking too bad at the moment, and there are no major problems coming in on the A40M, the West Way. On the Underground, the Victoria Line has recovered from earlier setbacks. Paul.
Thanks, Fiona. The weather now should be a dry morning, but the afternoon there may be some scattered showers later on, and those should be generally warm and bright. Top temperature 19 Celsius, that's a mild 66 Fahrenheit. And that's it from us for now. More news and travel in an hour.
Difficult doctors, 25 to 8 is the time. All this week we're preparing you for life and telling you don't be a doormat. How to beat the bullies and be more assertive. Well, yesterday Claire Catford handled a rather overbearing hairdresser. Today she deals with a difficult doctor.
I'm just sorting up on how to have my say at the doctor's. Last time I went, it was a disaster. He completely ignored me.
Come in. Miss Catford. Nice to see you. What seems to be the problem?
Oh, it's my stomach.
Well, there's a lot
really
of at the moment.
It's very painful. I'm
Oh,
very
don't worry. You'll be all right in a couple of days. Just take 2 of these a day with meals, and you'll be fine.
Well, I'm very concerned that there's something more serious.
Any consolation to you, there are a lot of people in the waiting room with a similar problem. Nice to see you.
Oh, that was hopeless. And the pills didn't work either. Still, I've been reading the magic manual, and next time, things will be different. I'll be prepared. I've got a list of things I want to ask, just in case I forget when I'm in there.
Come in. Miss Catford. Do have a seat. What seems to be the problem?
I've got terrible stomach pains.
Well, there's a lot of us around.
I'll be persistent. If I could just explain.
Yes.
Well, it's really painful and I feel washed out as well.
Well, it sounds like straightforward tummy problems to me. Any other symptoms?
He's listening. Sore throat. Do you want to take a look?
Open wide.
Well, I did it. And it wasn't too painful either. I stood up for myself and I made him listen to me. Trouble is, I've got to go to hospital next week to have my tonsils out.
Get well soon,
good.
Claire. Yeah. Now, there are difficult doctors about, but our Dr. Hilary certainly is not one of them.
I mean, you say the nicest things.
Never mind the doctors. How do you get by the receptionist?
Well, of course, the receptionists are given a brief by the doctors, so ultimately the doctor's responsible for what the receptionist says. And if you feel that you're getting a bad deal from the receptionist, then you should complain to your doctor and not to the receptionist, really. Sometimes it is difficult to get the appointment that you want on the day you want it. Sometimes you don't want to have personal questions asked about your condition, and that is really should not be in the receptionist's brief. What they're there to do is to try and get you the appropriate appointment in the fastest possible time, but not at the expense of more urgent cases.
So how do you ensure that, Hilary? For instance, say the Citizens Charter, for instance, does it apply to the medical profession?
Sure, we have a patient's charter which is designed to enable the patient to get the best deal possible. You have to remember that there are time constraints upon the doctor's time, and he has to try and organise his day so that the priority cases are seen first and most urgently, so that any self-respecting doctor these days will set aside so many appointments which are urgent for that day, so that anyone who has an urgent problem will be seen that same very day, not have to wait a week or longer for an appointment. Okay. I think the bit of film that we've just seen is ideal. Take a list of things you want to say. The very least you can expect from your doctor is to listen to your symptoms.
Good. Okay. Well, you'll be holding surgery here at 25 to 9 this morning. Good. Look forward to it, Hilary. See you later. Okay.
Don't be intimidated by your doctor. My dad's like that. He says, I don't want to bother them. When he's not well. He's daft. He's daft.
He doesn't want to bother them.
No, honestly. Right, now, a little romance could bring you a big reward in a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
£4,000 cash. GMTV's giving it away every day this week.
Her ladyship loves her Chico sit and ride train. That's because she sits and rides while I work up a right end of steam. Hold on to your hat, girl. And if that's not enough, I even have to unload her luggage. Oh, when she remembers it. Women, eh?
That crunch! I know that crunch! Honey, that loops! I want those. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, the yummy, crunchy part of this nutritious breakfast. Oh. Phew. Oh, thank you very much. Pardon me. I go loopy for the crunch.
Potty training. What should we wear? Nappies or pants? In pants you feel grown up, but accidents make you feel small again. Nappies are safe, but you can't wait to be out of them.
Now the perfect answer. New Pampers trainers. A new idea in training pants. They're absorbent and help protect against accidents. And come off quickly and cleanly when necessary, but look and feel more like grown-up pants. You can even pull them up and down, and up again.
Big white pants.
New Pampers trainers for boys and girls for happier potty training.
Smarty pants.
Doreen's having her saurine.
Sainsbury's fresh rainbow trout. Simple to cook, delicious to eat, and save 70p a pound. Catch some today at Sainsbury's.
Who wants to be a millionaire? I do.
Great stuff. Welcome back. Now, it's time to win £4,000 in cash, courtesy of GMTV, of course. In fact, yesterday we were feeling so generous that we gave away an extra £4,000.
Well, that was a mistake.
That
we
was
didn't
a
give it
big
as a
mistake. It was
the
a
machine broke down, but anyway.
The great computer that cost millions of pounds.
We've stuck it together this morning, though. We're
Bit
sure
glue and stuff.
it will work.
So anyway, that was a double one yesterday, a double whammy. So
Double
keep
whammy.
watching. Who knows how many winners that we'll pick today.
That's right.
First, here's Les Dennis to tell you how to make your family fortune.
You know your movies? Well, there won't be a dry eye in the house if you win £4,000. £4,000 cash. GMTV's giving it away every day this week. Just answer our £4,000 question. In the film The Bodyguard, starring Whitney Houston, who co-starred as her bodyguard? Was it A, Harrison Ford, B, Kevin Costner, or C, Tom Cruise? Just ring us on 0891 700 500. That's 0891 700 500. The winner will be picked at random and announced live on GMTV tomorrow.
Yeah, I know you know the answer to that one. The phones are open until 6 o'clock tonight. If you entered yesterday's competition, don't go away. Our computer, God bless it, is shifting through the entries to give us the names of 7 finalists, and we'll be telling you who those magnificent 7 are just after the 8 o'clock news. You could be £4,000 richer within half an hour.
Yes, provided you have a telephone and are standing by it.
Indeed.
Right, okay. It is 18 minutes to 8 o'clock. It's time now for this morning's breakfast. Before we take a look at this one, don't hold the pictures, hold the pictures. It's Penny Smith's birthday today.
Is.
Penny Smith on the news desk.
Yep.
If you can guess what age Penny Smith is, we could have a prize for that, couldn't we?
We could.
Yes. Number 21.
And there's a great big huge
Penny-
fat chocolate cake
Penny
and
Smith.
makeup that I've had a great big bit of
Yeah.
already.
Oh.
So bang goes the diet
Why
again.
didn't I get a bit of that?
It's there, it's waiting
Oh,
for
good.
you.
I'll have a bit of that later. Good. So happy birthday to our Penny, who's 26 today. Right. First of all, let's take a look at the pictures. Here we go. Catherine Simon from Harpend and Hart. She'll be 4 today.
Bradley Wright from Rochester, Kent, will be 3.
And this is Scott Harrison from Wallingford in Oxfordshire there. Together, obviously, with his brother and sister. He will be 1.
And Abigail McCutcheon from Colchester in Essex, love the hat. Abigail's 2 today. Very happy birthday to all of you. More birthdays coming up along the bottom of the screen during this morning's cartoon.
Droopy and Dripple, say it. She never says what this is. Droopy and Dripple, here they are. Tom and Jerry. And Jerry with Droopy and Dripple and Return of the Chubby Man, and it's all happening here. Lorraine is sewing on her button. These are the things that happen. Come with me, camera one. Come here.
Thank you.
Just show, come on.
Thank you.
No, who would have noticed it was off anyway? She's sitting with her needle.
I've got my needle and it just popped off. I've not been doing my Mr. Motivator exercises. That's what's wrong with me.
Penny's here. It's Penny's birthday, as we were trying to mention. I just couldn't work out how old you were, Penny.
I've been working it out, actually. You know how you don't give your age after about 11, when you always kind of say you're 12 and all that sort of thing. I've been working it out. It's 150 divided by 2 minus 50 plus 10 times 4 plus the number you first thought of. Take away 260 and you add a little bit.
And there is an answer there. 071 827 7000. Phone in. We'll let you know who's won that. Penny, do I get a birthday kiss? No, I give you a birthday kiss. That's right. I knew there was something, any excuse at all.
And the present.
Oh, indeed. Yes. Nearly time for this morning's BLT. We're not talking sandwiches here. Mr. Motivator's back after the break.
Hello? Get up! I need your body, come on! We gotta move!
There I was, Bill the Kid, sitting on my Chico runaway when an engine come up behind me. I didn't hear him because of the noise of my horse. Krill, he says he knows how to make my horse go faster, so I lets him. Blow me down, but he shoots off like a rattlesnake with his tail on fire.
Hurry, hurry! It's the Crazy Crocos. 10 different classmates from Kinder Surprise.
We're the Crazy Crocos. We keep our teachers on their toes.
They're nothing but trouble.
We're the Crazy Crocos.
And are hand-painted from their head to their toes. There are also over 100 other exciting toys to collect with Milky Chocolate Kinder Surprise. Ho-ho!
Snappy Crazy Crocos, a one surprise in 3.
Toothpaste with mouthwash, please. 2 in 1. Toothpaste to help protect your teeth, and mouthwash for fresh breath. Here's new Theramed Liquid. Protection and care for the teeth and gums with a minty fresh mouthwash. New Theramed Liquid. The 2-in-1 toothpaste and mouthwash. Its smooth liquid formula flows right around your mouth, but doesn't drip. New Theramed Liquid. 2-in-1 toothpaste and mouthwash. Care and freshness, all in one. A great double.
When you've got kids under your feet and they want something quick to eat, just think McCain and save your day. 3 minutes here and you're awake. Quickity quick.
Microchip.
McCain may crinkle, cut or straight. Great from the box or on a plate. Try them once and it'll be plain. 4 microchips make them McCain. Quickity quick.
Microchips.
McCain microchips. Real chips. Crickety quick.
I'm wearing new Up and Go to help me with my potty training. I can do anything in them. Mountaineering, high jumping, reading, and they got this stretchy stuff called Elastic Fit, which keeps them really snug. So pulling them up and down is easy peasy. So, get up and go.
New Up and Go. Makes training easy peasy.
We've been called downtown to clean up. Some trash needed wiping out. So we had the new Veleta pump action magic mop. Its special scrubbing edge and easy squeeze action left the scum with no place to hide. It was a dirty job. But Veleta magic mop could do it.
Come on, Cindy, get flexible.
Cindy keeps her hair in great condition with Flex by Revlon.
1, 2, 3, build that body.
With protein
3, build that body. 2,
and balsam.
4, 1, build that body.
Flex your hair and show off your body.
Fairy Ultra Liquid has changed. New Fairy Colour keeps colours bright. Just imagine it, because Fairy cares for colours.
GMTV tomorrow, will the private cliff go public?
An affair suggests also, it's a very emotive word. You know, I loved her then, I love her now.
Well, he's here, he's ready, and this is one of his biggest fans. This is Heather Wilkinson. She's 1 today, and she's from Thornley in County Durham, and she loves Mr. Motivator and watches him every morning, as do we all. Here he is.
Get motivated with trim, half-fat biscuits from Burton's.
Hey, this morning we've got to put some culture in that life, yeah? We're going to get that reggae moving. We're going to move to it, yeah? We're going to get down and do our BLT. Bums, legs, and tums, yeah? Today is bum. Come on now, give me some attitude. Oh, yeah, enjoy yourself. Come on. Hey, listen, someone phoned me yesterday saying I speak too slowly. I don't believe that. Come on, let's do it. Let's go up. Come on, give us some attitude. Now pull it up. All right, we're moving. Good. All right, good. Put the hands down on 5. Take it up and down. We're going to work that tush. Come on, let's go. Push it up. Don't forget, we always warm up the body first. That's after you've checked with the doctor. Now, listen, let's get down on the floor, yeah? Make sure there's something soft underneath those knees, yeah? We've got to get the legs shoulder width apart. Get the back nice and flat. Push that stomach through, yeah? Elbows down. Let's take the right leg up. Here we go. Now take it up and down. You got to squeeze that tush as you take it up. Give me some breathing. Shh. Come on, squeeze it. Imagine putting the feet flat on the ceiling. Good. Don't forget, if you want more of this, check out that BLT. Come on, up and down. Let's go up. Yeah, we're working. Good. Give me 4 more. 4. Yeah. And 3. Good. 2. Yeah. And 1. Good. We're going to change to the other side. Don't forget, make sure those knees are directly underneath the hips. Stomach nice and tight. Back flat. Up and down. Let's go. Up. Putting the feet on the ceiling. Keep breathing. Let's work it. Don't forget, you have got to do more than what we're doing just now because you want to get those dimples in the bum. Come on, let's go. Come on, work that tush. Here we go. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Good, just sit back. Okay, so that's the quick tip for today. Here we go. We're going to do some more work sitting up here. But here's what I want you to do. We're going to do some squats, all right? From this position, you sit down, push your hips forward. That way you work that tush. Now let's make it a skiing exercise, so pull it in. Good. Pull it in. Good. Make sure the knees going down over the toes. And keep smiling. Oh, yeah. Come on, work it. Come on, let's do it. Good. Hey, I'm going to continue here. But listen, you guys, you make sure that you keep going. And I'll see you later on. We're going to get really funky. Come on, do it.
Lovely stuff. We shall see you later, round about, or just after the 8:30 news. If you want details of Mr. Motivator's special booklet, don't go away. We'll give you those a little later on. Right now, let's look at the weather.
GMTV's weather with Direct Line Insurance.
Hello there, and a very good Tuesday morning to you. Well, I'm afraid the story is rather sad and soggy one this morning. As we can see from the satellite picture behind me, there's still a large wave of cloud right across the British Isles. Quite dramatic there, isn't it? Quite pretty. But it's moving slowly eastwards with clearer skies behind it, but plenty of showers there waiting to move into western parts of Wales and Ireland today. So it's a dull, damp start to the day across eastern and southeastern parts with some rain around too. Elsewhere, though, a bright start to the morning and even a fair amount of sunshine around there, even if it is hiding behind clouds. In fact, for many parts of England and southeastern Scotland. But showers are moving in fairly smartly to Wales and down the southwest into western parts of Scotland and Ireland as well. By the afternoon, that showery weather looks like becoming pretty widespread, and those showers are likely to be fairly heavy at times, especially across western Wales and the northwest of Scotland as well, with hail and thunder likely. Temperatures not too bad, up to a fairly respectable 68 degrees at best today, 8 degrees more than yesterday. So as you'd expect from all that, quite a big day on the brolly front, with most parts likely to get some rain today. The drier spots over in the east and the southeast after that early rain begins to clear, and the summery rain clearing to the east with better weather behind it, but showers moving into the west. That's it from me for a moment. I'll give you an update in half an hour. Eamon.
Good morning to you. You are waking up to GMTV. It's Tuesday, September 21st. The time approaching 8 o'clock. I'm Eamon Holmes.
And I'm Lorraine Kelly. Good morning to you. Well, love is in the air for Emmerdale's Frank Tate, and it's all thanks to us, would you believe? Coral Atkins and Norman Bowler, alias Frank Tate, will join us to tell all, and Harrison Ford will be here to talk about his new film, The Fugitive, as well.
A report out today says 500,000 sexually active women take no form of contraception. We have a special report.
And as single mothers come under attack from a London council, we talk to those at the sharp end. They live in the poorest area of Britain. Martin Frizzell is there now.
Lorraine, good morning from the valleys of South Wales. In a village behind me is Britain's poorest street, where 1 in 4 households is a single mother.
More from Martin after the main national and international news. Penny Smith has that.
Car maker Nissan cuts production at flagship UK factory. Teenager fights for life after gunman hits the wrong target. Crossed fingers, the only contraception for thousands of women. Good morning. Nissan is to cut production at its showpiece factory in Sunderland, believed to be Europe's most efficient car plant. It's growing evidence of how a slump in car sales on the continent is affecting British factories. But the Japanese car maker has dismissed speculation of layoffs and redundancies, as Barbara Long reports.
Nissan brought thousands of jobs to the hard-pressed northeast when it opened its Sunderland car plant in the mid-80s. It's currently turning out more than 1,000 cars every 24 hours, supplying 33 countries. But now the company has been forced to admit that's too many for a European market savaged by recession. Nissan have kept their market share, but overall car sales in Europe are down by almost 18%. And not even the once invincible Japanese car makers can escape the consequences of that. This morning, Nissan's 4,600-strong Tyneside workforce will be told production will have to be cut back. Nissan say there'll be no layoffs and there'll be no redundancies, but they'll say no more than that until they've spoken to their staff. Short-time working is a likely option for at least some of the workforce. Barbara Long, GMTV News.
A bitter trade row between France and its European partners was diffused in Brussels early this morning. The French had threatened to block a vital world trade deal if they didn't win concessions for their farmers. A fierce all-night debate put the stalled talks back on track. This report from our European reporter, David Wieland.
EC ministers reached a compromise early this morning in their long and bitter discussion over the stalled world trade talks. The breakthrough came after a mammoth 12-hour meeting involving 35 ministers in Brussels. Britain's Douglas Hurd declared the negotiation a draw, but reiterated a threat that if the GATT deal breaks down again, Britain would take action.
I'm simply saying that if it appeared that Europe were responsible for a paralysis of the GATT negotiations, then you couldn't expect the ordinary work of the community to continue as if that weren't the position.
France had threatened to block the deal if it didn't win concessions for its farmers, who have become increasingly militant, blockading Paris again last week. In the end, they were satisfied with the decision to continue talking. Soleil Britain will go to Washington next weekend to further thrash out the farm deal, which had been the major stumbling block.
We shall negotiate, and we shall negotiate toughly to get the best deal that we can in agriculture, as in all other sectors. We are assisted in doing that by the fact that the Council has cleared the air.
The parties to the vital world trade talks now have until December the 15th to conclude a deal. David Wieland, GMTV News.
Teenager Nicola Lumsden is critically ill in hospital after she was hit in the head by a bullet meant for someone else. The shooting happened outside the Redskins pub in Tyne and Wear. Detectives are questioning 2 men about the incident. Loyalist paramilitaries are thought to be behind a series of explosions outside the homes of SDLP politicians in and around Belfast early today. One device went off outside the home of West Belfast MP Dr Joe Hendren. 3 others were outside the homes of SDLP councillors. Another device was defused by the army. The ex-wife of a Scot who's missing in Turkey says she'll fly out to help find him. It's nearly a month since holidaymaker Roy Dingley from Edinburgh failed to return home. Estranged wife Helena McGuinness says there's no obvious reason for his disappearance and she'll join the hunt in western Turkey. 500,000 women, including 90,000 teenagers, take no contraceptive precautions against unplanned pregnancy. That's according to a survey out today. And the figures, which are from a study of 1,000 women aged 16 to 44, don't include those who refuse to use contraception on religious grounds. This from our chief correspondent, Sue Saville.
Kelly Leahy learnt the facts of life the practical way. This 17-year-old now has an 8-month-old daughter.
I just thought it had never happened to me. I didn't want to go to the doctors and ask to go on the pill because I thought he'd turn me down because I was not actually 16 at the time.
Despite the wide availability of contraceptives, more than a third of sexually active 16 to 19-year-old girls don't use any precautions, according to today's survey commissioned by a drug company. This puts 90,000 teenagers at risk of pregnancy, with fear and ignorance largely to blame.
We have very patchy sex education, so a lot of teenagers actually go to school and receive virtually nothing, and they may receive no sex education at home either. So they're entering their adult relationships with very little information.
There were 373,000 conceptions outside marriage in 1991, many young women still coy about contraception. The Department for Education say they are trying to improve sex information. From next year it will be compulsory for all schools to teach sex education. But it's not yet been decided whether a special monitoring service will be needed to make sure the contraception message is getting through. Sue Saville, GMTV News.
Sport now, and Lennox Lewis and Frank Bruno are talking tough with just 10 days left before their British heavyweight showdown. Andy Stegel reports.
Lewis, who's defending his World WBC title, says he'll have plenty of support and isn't worried by Bruno's reputation as the people's champion.
I think he was the people's champion. He's what was, I'm what is, and I think a lot of support is going to be down there for me. I do have a lot of support in Britain, and you know, the night of the fight, it's just going to be exciting.
Bruno continues his preparations. He's not allowing himself to be outdone in the verbal sparring stakes.
I'll tell you, on October the 1st, he's going to have the roughest ride he's ever had, and I've got a ticket for him. I'm going to hit him so hard, he's got to pay it to come back in the show, mate. I tell you, and that ain't hype.
Golf and the American Ryder Cup team flew into the UK last night, apparently under orders from President Bill Clinton to bring the trophy back with them.
We'll just have to see what happens to the outcome on Sunday. Is what we have to do.
Your team in good condition?
Yeah. They're in very good condition.
Ready for a big show.
We're glad to be in Birmingham.
Football, and Wimbledon are now 5th in the FA Premiership. Robbie Earle's goal was enough to beat the visitors Manchester City last night. Those are the main news stories. It's 6 minutes past 8. Here's Eamon.
Thank you very much indeed, Penny. We have to say the tension is mounting, is it not?
Absolutely.
Pulses racing, because we are now about to find out who has won themselves £4,000. Or maybe not. If yesterday's announcement, thank you very much indeed. If yesterday's announcement was anything to go by, prepare yourselves for a laugh, because our new computer, we're told it's a reliable computer, it failed. So we've agreed to give away an extra £4,000 to Wendy Pardo from Manchester, whose name I picked out, so I've cost the company £4,000. So let's see what happens today. Yesterday we asked who was Richard Gere's co-star in the film Pretty Woman. The answer, of course, Julia Roberts.
Indeed, yes. Now, who's going to win the £4,000 in cash? Da-da-da-da. Thousands of you had no trouble getting the right answer. Our computer has randomly selected 7 finalists. All 7 names are now up on your screens, and the finalists are all nervously waiting on the phone to find out who scooped the 4,000. The computer will keep on randomly flashing names until the moment of truth. Now, as I say the magic phrase, computer, pick a winner.
It did it!
Oh, God, it did
no, wait a minute. And she just happens to be from Glasgow.
That's amazing. I'm stunned that it worked.
Margaret Mulhern.
Margaret, are you there?
Yes.
No!
Hello, Lorraine.
How you doing?
I believe my luck.
That's great. Listen, tell us about yourself. What do you do with yourself, Margaret?
Oh, well, I'm a housewife, Lorraine.
Oh, good.
And, a grandmother, of course.
Brilliant.
And I've got my 2 grandsons in the house. To school every day.
Right. Margaret, listen, what are you going to do with the money, do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even think I would win anything.
I know, it's £4,000. I mean, you could do something really nice
yes,
with that.
Yes, I could. And it was my 40th wedding anniversary last Friday.
Well done, Margaret. What's your husband's name?
Michael.
Michael.
Right. Yes.
Well, that's a lovely... last Friday was that?
Yes, the 17th.
40 years married.
Yes.
There you are. I hope we live to see that. That's
well,
excellent.
I hope so too.
Oh, that's great, Margaret. Listen, well done. That's really good. Anybody you want to say a quick hello to?
Just to my daughter in England and her husband and the boys and her little girl, Catherine, John, and the boys and Kerry.
Oh, that's great. Well done, Margaret. And it wasn't a fix just because we're both from Glasgow.
Oh,
it was the computer. It was the computer.
Thank you very much, Lorraine.
Computer work today. Great,
well
Margaret. Enjoy spending it. That's the main thing, Margaret. Okay.
Bye just now.
Bye-bye. All the best. And remember, of course, we're giving away another £4,000 at this time every day this week. So we could be on the phone tomorrow, and it could be you we're talking to. The question today is, in the film The Bodyguard, starring Whitney Houston, who co-starred as her bodyguard, was it A, Harrison Ford? Was it B, Kevin Costner? Or was it C, Tom Cruise? Ring us on 0891 700 500. The winner as we say, will be picked at random by the computer and announced live here tomorrow at the same time. The phone lines open until 6 p.m.
We'll be talking to one of those men later on, and it's Harrison Ford, and he wasn't the right answer, so there, I've made it even easier for you. Now, on a more serious note, do you think that single mothers under 21 should stay at home with their families and be denied council housing? A Tory flagship council, that's Wandsworth in South London, well, they think so, they think they do. We've been running a poll all morning, and so far, 81% of you do think that single mothers under 21 should have to stay with their families. 19% disagree. We'll give you the final results at around about 10 to 9, so if you do have an opinion, there's still time to call. If you think single mothers should be forced to stay at home, if they're under 21, they should be forced to stay at home with their parents, then ring 0891 456 301. If you disagree, then ring 0891 456 302. Calls should cost you no more than 10 pence.
Okay, and straight after the break, we'll be hearing from single-parent campaigner Sue Slipman and talking to Martin Frizzell. Martin is in Britain's poorest area.
In the Welsh valleys behind me, there's a street where 1 in 4 is a single mum, what automatically gives them a right to a place of their own.
The bits you can see in this water are limescale. Blech. The more you boil, the more bits you get. But now, Philips have created a kettle with a scale filter. The Philips filter line. So that's clear.
Doreen's having her saurine.
Toothpaste with mouthwash, please. 2 in 1. Toothpaste to help protect your teeth, and mouthwash for fresh breath. Here's new Theramed Liquid. Protection and care for the teeth and gums with a minty fresh mouthwash. New Theramed Liquid. The 2 in 1 toothpaste and mouthwash. Its smooth liquid formula flows right around your mouth, but doesn't drip. New Theramed Liquid. 2 in 1 toothpaste and mouthwash. Care and freshness, all in one.
A great double.
Perfect tikka masala. Yes, and ready in 30 minutes. Ideal for the unexpected guest, eh, Fred?
Hi, Claire. Everything all right? Hi.
Hello, John. Fred, it's you and me again. Tikka masala. Knockout. Trouble is, he'll be back for more.
Claire, that was great. I must pop round more often.
Thanks a lot, Fred.
Whoops. Home-fried sauces in jars. Marvellous meals in minutes.
Her ladyship loves her Chico sit and ride train. That's because she sits and rides while I work up a right end of steam. Hold on to your hat, girl. And if that's not enough, I even have to unload her luggage. Oh, when she remembers it. Women, eh?
Nestle Clusters. Crispy whole wheat flakes with chunks of walnuts, pecans and almonds combined in delicious nuggets.
All right, this is a hold-up. Don't shoot, don't shoot. Get your hands up nice and slow.
If you like nuts, you'll love Nestle Clusters.
Cindy keeps her hair in great shape with new Flex Mousse and Hairspray by Revlon. Flex your hair and show off your body.
When a headache begins to build, take Headaches Extra. Headaches Extra for extra pain relief.
Gateway's got prices on things that I need. That really helps with a family to feed. Thank goodness for Gateway.
Hello, welcome back. Now, yesterday it was revealed that a London council is proposing to take away the automatic right of single mothers to council housing and would also like to see single mothers under 21 forced to live with their parents. We'll be talking to single-parent campaigner Sue Slipman in just a moment. But to find out what life's like at the sharp end, Martin Frizzell is in Blaenau, Gwent, home to Britain's poorest street. Good morning to you, Martin.
Good morning, Lorraine. Imagine life here, if you will. Imagine never having a holiday, not just this year, but never having a holiday. Imagine going without just so that your children can be fed and clothed. Imagine being a pensioner and not even having an inside toilet. Well, that's what life is like in some of these streets down below me here in the valleys in Blaenau and Gwent. In one street alone, researchers who spent several months looking at this area, they knocked on 90 doors. Everybody in the street, 46 families. 13 of them are single parents. Now, it's all very well for Tory councillors in Wandsworth, which is like chalk and cheese with Blaenau and Gwent, I have to say. It's all very well for them creating policies whereby, as you said, you know, some single parent families may be forced into bed and breakfast, may have to live with their parents until they're 21. This, as everybody has told me here, is a socialist area. Neil Kinnock's constituency next door. Labour councillors here will not put up with that.
No prospect of any jobs in the area. I mean, it does seem very, very gloomy.
Well, indeed, I mean, part of the problems here are, of course, unemployment and also low pay. It's an area that used to be heavily reliant upon the mining industry. That's gone. Upon the steelworks as well. They used to employ 9,000 over the mountain there in Ebba Vale. That's just down to 1,000 now. There are not very many jobs at all, and those that are available are very often part-time and very low paid.
It's a desperate situation. Martin, thank you very much indeed. Well, earlier on this morning, the leader of